So I have this life, and I have this job, but I found out that just being a slob was a thing I knew. So drive on through.
Hey everybody, this is BadBrad. This is my theme tutorial on Rust, and this is a Nexus 4. You might have a different phone. As long as it's a high def screen size, you should probably be okay. I've got a few different screens set up on mine. The home screen, I use one called Tools, News, Work, and Play. So you might choose to use more or fewer or whatever you like, but I also have a blank wallpaper that I use for my calendar, and on the far side I've got a calculator. So if you feel like playing with it a little bit, customize it to make it your own, it'd be great. I'm using the battery widget in the middle, but there's lots of other ones for clocks and other things that should fit in there pretty nicely, so you could go ahead and adjust some of those if you like as well. But I'll take you through it. Hopefully it works out well for you. Leave me some comments, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. All right.
Okay, let's get started. This is my theme for Rust, and this is BadBrad. This is my Google Nexus 4. If you have a different phone, you may need to do some changes to your setup slightly, but yeah, hopefully this will work on other devices, and I'll take you through it. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is download my files that I've provided a link to, and once you've got all those files, you need to plug in your phone to your computer. And I'm on a Windows computer. If you're on a Mac, then I'm sorry I can't help you, but you can probably figure it out just as well. So basically all we have to do is, once you've unzipped your files, you're going to have all of these folders available to you, and all you need to do is copy all of the folders. You don't need to worry about it copying over the installation instructions. That's just for your reference if you want to use it as a written version of my video. But take all of these 6 folders and just highlight them all and drag them into your internal storage. So once your phone is plugged in, it's just going to show this. You want to copy that into the main root folder, and then this will overwrite a couple of folders, or at least install the files into the proper places that you need. I hope that I've got everything in there. If I don't, leave me some comments. If you like my tutorial and my theme, please give me thumbs up, and I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, so once that's all copied over, then you're going to be on your main part of your screen. I apologize that the AirDroid access thing keeps coming up for my my super user. I can't figure out how to get rid of that. But so once we're on our once we've got our system up and running, what we need to do first is we need to install Nova Launcher. I use Nova Launcher Prime. I believe you can use a regular one, but Nova Launcher Prime gives you a few more features, so I'm using that. Once you've got that installed, then you're going to be prompted to choose which launcher you would like. I'm going to select Nova Launcher, and then you can just say always. So once Nova has launched, all you have to do is double tap anywhere on your screen. So by double tapping, it will bring up your Nova settings, and you're going to see a message here right away, which allows you, just if you click on the bottom right little menu tab there, you can swipe the other launchers away. Then we've got our Nova settings, and we have to just scroll down to the bottom part where it says backup and import right here. Okay, and then we tap on that, and then once that comes up, we're going to be able to restore our themes. So the one that we want, I've just named it Rust. It's pretty straightforward. So all you do is you click on Rust, and you say this will replace your current configuration with the one from the backup. You say OK. I'm just going to hit cancel because I already have mine in there. And then all you have to do is click on the arrow to go back down at the bottom there, And then once you get to your screen, you're going to see a number of little boxes that say tap to restore. Okay, so those are the different widgets that I've set up for you. And these can all be reactivated simply by going back into our screen. But the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set up our wallpaper. Okay, and all we do is like we normally would. You hold anywhere down on the wallpaper area, and then when it comes up with wallpapers, you click on that, and then you click on live wallpapers. And the tool that we're using for this is multi-picture live wallpaper. The reason that we use this is it allows us to customize which screens we want to use the wallpaper on, so we can make separate wallpapers for each one. So for this one, I'm basically going to be using I can click on my settings, and from here we have the option of choosing, number one, how many screens we're going to have on our phone, and that just depends on if you want to use the same number that I've had, or if you have fewer screens, or you want to have more, or whatever you like. But the cool part is that we can now define which ones we want to use for each one, for each screen. And I'm using really just two different wallpapers. The main one we can set as the common settings wallpaper. So if we click on that, and I click on picture source, then it will allow me to just select this single picture. So if I tap on single picture, it brings up all of our things in our gallery. So if I just click on Rust, it's going to give me two options that I've given you in the folders that you copied over. And the main one we're going to use is the one with the circle on the top. So we just click on that, and that will be called main. So we say OK, and then the one that I'm going, and so you can just go through all of these, and you could set up however many that you want to use. And if you have a screen that you want to just use the same common source, you can just click on same as common settings, and that will just default it back to using the common settings for the screen. So you can go through and decide if you want to use the one with the circle on it, or if you have some screens, you may choose to opt to just use the one that says Rust Simple, which is just the one that is, I'm just burned through here a bit, it's just the one on the bottom right here. So that one doesn't have a circle in it. So if you have a screen you want to set up that you just want it to be a little bit more flexible without having the battery widget or a clock widget or something in there, then that just gives you the option to do that. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for you. And once you've got that set up, you can just hit back, and then you'll go back and you can hit set wallpaper, and then you're going to see the theme come up. Okay, so now we've got our little widgets ready to be restored, and the one at the very top we'll start off with. This is a super widget. So what we want to do is scroll down. I've named these, and you probably won't have as many themes in yours perhaps, but I've got them named properly, and the one that we're looking for is Rust. Let's just keep going. I think it's actually near the bottom here. Okay, so the one that we want is Rust header weather. Okay, so the one thing about super widget, I don't know why it does this, but quite often it sizes it a little bit wrong. So all you have to do is tap it again and then hit back at the bottom here. And then what it will do is it will resize it to the proper size. And you might want to play with the settings a little bit in Super Widget, just depending on what you want for your weather settings and all that stuff. But you can go in and figure that stuff out a little bit after. And then the next one that we're going to do is we're going to insert the circle battery widget. So all we do is just hold down right in the middle of the circle, and then we're going to select a widget. And there's a bunch of different ones for this you may choose to play with. The battery disc widget is pretty cool. They also have another one that's a different theme, and they've also got another one that is for battery level, your brightness level, if you want to change that. And I believe there's even another one for clock. Yeah, this digital clock disc widget that you can use. There's a bunch that will fit the sizing that I've done for it. This Synax circle battery widget fits in there as well. So you can play around a little bit with them, but if you look up the same company that makes the battery disc widget, then you can find a few different options that you might choose to use. So this one is battery disc big 2x2, and it will put it in there. You might find that by default yours will be blue. If you just tap anywhere on the widget, then you can go in and you can change by clicking on color themes. You can choose which color that you want. The one that I've chosen is the yellow one because that one matches the style. So you just click on color themes and then you can just click on OK. And then once that comes up, you'll notice that it doesn't quite fit. So you just hold down on the widget with your finger and then select resize. And you just drag down and over, and then you tap off anywhere and it will fit perfectly in the middle of the circle. Okay? So the next one that we're going to do is we're going to tap down here on the larger space at the bottom, and this is a UCCW widget, and we're going to scroll down until we get to Rust Background Home. Okay, so once we do that, UCCW comes up, and then we just have to touch anywhere on the screen. And what that will now do is bring up the background and everything for the styling that we've done for the home screen. The next one that we're going to tap on is right here, and that one is for custom ICS search. And the one thing I like about this one as opposed to the default search is it's just transparent, and it allows us to do be a little bit more flexible in what we want to do. So we have to customize this slightly. All we have to do is click on search frame, and then we can just drag all the way across to the right so that the background becomes completely transparent, and then we click on set. Okay, and then click back down here and it will remove, you can see what it's going to look like now. It removes that, and then we just click on OK, and now we've got the Google and the voice search available right here. What I like to do is you can hold that and drag it right down into here so that it's positioned in the right spot, and you can choose how you want this to fit. You might want to resize it a bit so that it's fitting with the grid a little bit more. Once you see how it's finished when we're done, then you'll get an idea of how it fits. The different one that I've got going here for tap to restore in the middle, this is essentially just a folder of icons that I've set up using Desktop Visualizer. And what I've done is I've just used a Nova Launcher command to launch my apps drawer. Okay, so the one thing that we have to do is on select icon, we have to click on that, and then we click others. We scroll down, and the one that I'm using is simple text. Okay, now simple text is really cool because what it does is it allows you to use just text instead of icons. But what I've kind of done for this one is I've cheated a little bit. You notice I've got one down here that's just blank, and you'll have to make your own. All you really are going to do is create a new icon for it, and you're just going to take all the words out of it. So there's no words in this one. You would normally type like right in here to put your words in there if you wanted to, but I've just taken all the words out. So if you click up on the little three dots in the corner and go save icon, then it just allows the icon to be invisible. Okay, and then for select action, we click on that, and then we click on other right here. Okay, and then other brings up a list, and we click on Nova Launcher, and then we click on app drawer right at the top here. Okay, and then the one thing we want to do is click clear so we don't have text underneath it. And then if we scroll down, you can opt to have color, a touch effect if you want to. I prefer to click on that and just say none, and that way it takes out the effect. You can have vibration on there if you want to have haptic feedback kind of thing on there. And then you just click OK. And now what that does is, so if I click on the home icon now, it brings up all my apps. Okay, so you could do that with folders too if you want for some of the other pages, like if you've got your tools and all that and you have apps that you want to launch off of there. I usually use the full app drawer on my home screen, but on some of the other ones then I'll change it up a little bit. So that's your call how you want to do that. Okay, so now the other thing that we want to do in Nova, and again this is up to you if you want to use the icons like this, but if you double tap on your screen and then you click on look and feel, then you can see here the icon theme. I've selected the simple white icons, okay, right down here at the bottom. The only thing about the simple white icons is sometimes they're not quite as recognizable when you're in your app drawer. So you could opt to customize each one of your icons manually for the key apps that you have on your screen, and then still use something like MIUI themed set of icons or something like that for the rest of your icons. But I've made it easier this way, just so if we select simple white, it will allow us to bring up the icons we want quite a bit quicker. So now if I'm going to add some apps to my screen here, I just have to hold down on the screen again, select apps, and one of the nice things about Nova is it allows us to select multiple apps. So I can just go through and I can select whichever ones that I want to put onto my screen. Of course, everybody's different. We can choose what we want, and we can go ahead and just put in the apps that we want to be using, and go ahead and just drop these in here accordingly. Okay, so I think I have room for 10 there. That'll probably work. So I say add, and now you'll notice up in the top right left corner they just kind of fall all on top of each other, but if you hold down on them and drag, you can just move these all into position and put them where you want. Okay, so you can arrange them however you want them to be, but you get the gist of that. So that's essentially it. That's how you set up the home screen for Rust. I will go to a few other screens for you just to show you a couple of other options. The one that I'm using here, so this one is the news background. So we go down, we scroll down. All of the backgrounds are named. So the one we want to select is news. And again, we tap it. That brings up that. This one is again for our search, ICS search. We click again. We say OK. That one comes up. And you'll notice here I've made the search for this one a little bit wider. It just sort of seemed like it suited that better because I'm filling the screen up. So again, you can resize it and move it in or out however you like. And then down here on the bottom, I've got simple RSS widget, and you can go in and you can select whichever RSS feeds that you want, and those will load. You'll have to customize the colors that you want and the font sizes for your screen. I have chosen to use sort of a yellowish color. You can kind of play with what you want for the look and feel of it, but this gives you a bit of an idea how it works. I usually use something like 14 for the font size for that one, and then probably 12 for the actual text. The other thing that we need to do is take the background out. So if we click on the little black box and then just drag the alpha down to 0, then that will allow us to click OK, and we will have that. Now the show icons, what I do for those is I actually drag this to 0. That you can leave it on at first if you want to just see where it is, but it's basically down in the bottom right corner of the widget. So that way you can go back into your settings if you want to. So once you've got that all done, you hit save, and once your data loads, it will bring up your information for the widget. And then we've got tap to restore widget here. Up at the top, Zuper widget again. We scroll down and we select the same one that we had before, Rust header weather. It's a tongue twister. We say OK, and that loads. And again, we just have to tap it again and then go back, and it will resize and fill that up. Okay, I don't know, I'm not getting any data on here. It's updating it, but normally that should fill in. Maybe my connection's a bit wonky. Yeah, so then we could continue going through these. Each one of these themes has a different style. The Widgetsoid one I love. It's a great power toggle, and I think I've saved that one in there for you. I use the white times 10, and you just click white times 10, and then it brings this up. You click load all, and then once that comes up, you just hit apply, and it'll drop that in there for you. And then here we've got again another one for UCCW, and this one I believe is tools. We say tools. Some of them I already had the icons in there, so I've just kind of left them there. This one again is our custom ICS screen. Drag our transparency down, click OK, and now we've got the icon here. And all the icons are actually in the folder that's preset. So you could change these if you wanted to. I've gone to, let me just see if I can find the, I'm just going to look for the icons. Okay, so now this screen here is iconsdb.com. And if you want to look for more icons, they got all kinds of different themes and colors and everything that you can look for. So if you want to change up your icons on your screen, just go ahead and go to iconsdb.com and you can find tons of them. Okay, so that's a good way for you to customize your look. The one that I got in the middle here, can't even remember what I had in the middle there, but I did have an icon that was a unique one. I think I might have had the apps coming up for that. So you could go ahead and select that if you want to. So for the most part, we've now got all of our different screens kind of working. I have also on one of my screens, I usually set up a calculator, and that's in the list there. I'm using the black transparent motive, so I can hit accept for that, and I again put my Zuper widget up at the top here with the same stuff, the weather, and that goes in. I tap it again, hit back, and then it resizes. So, and you can notice here the background wallpaper for this one's a little bit off because it's using the common one. So you can go in and change that to the regular simple style if you like, and then it'll make it it'll remove the circle. Okay, now one other thing that's kind of neat, and you can barely see it because I know that the screen capture on this is a little laggy when it turns because I'm just using AirDroid. But once you've got this set up, you're going to see how, I'm just going to do it slow. You'll see how the transition kind of is really neat because I've got this cube transition on here using Nova. But you can change that to any style you like. And if you go back by tapping on your screen and then going to your desktop at the top right there, and you scroll down, you'll see where it says scroll effect. If you click on that, you can change this to a whole bunch of different styles, and the effect is pretty neat with some of the different ones. So if I click on a different style and then click back to the home, then you'll see this one, it actually goes down and up. And the neat part is that when you're on the screens, and I apologize it's laggy, I'm just going to do it super slow, but you can see how that moves into position, and it creates this really neat effect as it rotates. So I'd encourage you to play with those a little bit, get a feel for it, and then you know, get your theme set up the way you want it to be. So okay, so I think that's about it. I do have a couple of other screens here that are set up. The one on the work screen here is just the simple calendar widget, and I'll just leave these kind of I'm not going to bother taking you through these, but you would change the color to yellow again, change the size of the font so that they're your preference, turn the background down, transparency to 0, and then just go ahead and say save, and then that will just load in all of your calendar stuff. And again, you can go back and change your theme on the bottom here, so it's the work one, and that starts to load, and then we click on this one to do our Google search and Google voice command. So now you can start seeing it, and you'll notice here I forgot to take the background out of the calendar widget. So this is where you can go back in the little tool here that I didn't turn off. I can go back in there now and click on background. It's a little bit of a small icon to touch, I find, but once you finally get it, I had it and then it went away. Then I just drag the alpha down, and then we go back and we can hide the icons, or you can even just make them kind of transparent if you want, and then they won't be as bright. They're sort of there a little bit. Okay, so that one, now we've got that page set up. You should be able to get the rest of this, burn through it, and get the rest of these all set up. Same thing with the Super Widget again. And you could even customize Super Widget a bit if you'd rather have a battery icon up there and use a weather icon in the middle. I played around with a ton of different options, but you guys can do what you want. So, okay, so I'm BadBrad, and this is my tutorial on Rust. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have fun customizing your Android phone. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. All right, take care.